welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton, and today we're going to talk about economic development with the chairman of the board that supports the policies of the Economic Development Department of the City of Hampton. Welcome, Wallace Arnold. How are you today?
I'm doing great, and it's nice to have a chance to come and talk a little bit about the Economic Development Authority, and I want to emphasize right off, we're open for business.
We are open for business. The authority is open. The city is open for business. You are very enthusiastic. You bring a real excitement, I think. Economic Development Authority, people think it sounds kind of boring. You are very upbeat and ready to do stuff.
Well, I think I've spent now 7 years on the authority. I'm in my final year. And over that period of time, we have been able to do things for the city overall, and then for individual business interests, entrepreneurship, and provided some opportunities to allow the city to benefit from from economic development ventures, as well as allow private industry to grow, and for persons interested in expanding and getting their feet on the ground in business, we've been able to help with that.
Well, and you guys changed your name. You were an Industrial Development Authority, which I think, most of the institutions around the state of Virginia were, and you switched it to Economic Development. What is that about?
Well, it's about catching up, I think, and giving the impression that we're open to everyone and to every sector of interest, and that we are a very diverse-looking organization. And I think industrial carries with it sort of, traditional heavy manufacturing, that sort of thing.
So, and that's not the growth industries in our future.
No.
Anyone's
and so
future.
That's exactly right. So I think across the Commonwealth now, most IDAs are changing over to be EDAs and sort of missioning themselves to incorporate a wider view.
What would you say are some of the key things that the EDA has done in your tenure over the past 7 years, and whatever you're working on now?
Well, one of the things, several things that we've done, and I've been primarily on the loan side and been on the loan committee most of the time. So
people don't even know. I don't think that you guys do loans and grants for smaller businesses. I think everybody thinks, incentives are for the big guys who come in with the big jobs, but that's not what you do.
No, and
exclusively.
By no means at all. And we've been primarily key towards small and mid-sized businesses and providing opportunities for businesses to get started, and in our incubator systems here in the city as well. So one, we have provided money in terms of funding, rather than say money, say funding.
Funding, right.
In terms of providing opportunities for businesses to get started. And those are, and it's helping businesses to offset early cost in terms of their operations, in terms of their personnel, that sort of thing. So that and the thing that we're always looking at is how it all benefits the city of Hampton, and it benefits the city of Hampton by doing things that allow us to increase the tax base for the city and to provide some input. So. Yes, we can provide opportunity, but we're expecting some return on that opportunity.
Exactly.
We provide.
It's not a handout.
No.
It's got long-term benefits for the city. So the benefits might not be paid back in a year, but you look for that, the property tax, the sales tax, the whatever business activities result to pay back over a 5-ish year period.
That's exactly right. And one of the also. We helped, I think, businesses to weather the storm when we had the downturn in 2008, 2009, when some of the businesses that we were attempting to help at that time got into some severe difficulties.
Well, the credit crunch. You think what it did to, homeowners and individuals, it did the exact same thing to the businesses.
Same thing. And so we were able to have the flexibility to modify agreements that we had with various businesses to give them opportunity to sort of have a little bit of a cushion so they didn't fall so fast, and give them and give them some opportunity to sort of settle out and move along without them being destroyed. So I think that was important with what we did. So we had changed a lot of our business agreements to allow an easy fall for some folks rather than for them to slam and break on the floor. So that was something that we've done. We have also orchestrated some land acquisitions, and what we have, of course, is that we manage the public lands, the lands that the city owns that are undeveloped, and we've been able to proceed with the development of some of those areas to get businesses in and to make it reasonable for those businesses to survive and that sort of thing. So those are some of the things that we've done. And we have also, a major thing that we've done is that we were doing very, very few grants early on. And so now we have opened up opportunities for businesses to apply for grants.
And grants are better than loans. Businesses like those.
Yeah, businesses like grants, and but also along with the grant now, there's some provisions with grants as well that say, you just don't get a grant and go off, but you have to, when you get this grant, you have to provide feedback to us on how you're doing. And
you've got to meet some benchmarks along the way.
Have to, and so a grant comes with a requirement attached to it that says if you do not survive over the next 5 years, and then there's some obligation you pick up for the funding that you have received. So with grants or loans, it is an obligation. The grant obligation is different, of course, from the loan obligation, but at the same time, there is some obligation as you receive that awarded money. And I think, and
there were an awardee or two who complained that, oh, geez, you mean I really have to pay this back? And you've got that push and pull between wanting to help businesses, but you want to help them deliver what they say they're going to deliver, and you can't just give away tax money. I mean, it's not fair.
That's exactly the case. And I would just take the opportunity and at the risk of being a little pushy and with someone, or maybe to say that anyone that we have given an award to, that award is explained very carefully when they get it.
That's your committee. You know that. You've probably done it in person. Yeah.
And so it's very clear what the obligations are. And so when someone might say, well, we didn't know this was the obligation, the only reason they maybe didn't know is because he didn't take the time to understand everything that was provided to them. But I think we've been very, very forthright, and we have not been a mean organization by any means at all. And a little bit bureaucratic, but that's what
that comes with the city territory. I'm learning that.
That comes with the territory of public organizations, and so that has to. So that's just the case. But in the final analysis, if you're willing to stay the course, you get the result at the end, and the result is that you get the funding or whatever the benefit is that you're after to support your organization.
And then you grow and give back to the city. Now, speaking of giving back to the city. You've been on this board now for 7 years. You're in probably your last year. That's a lot of time. That's a huge commitment. Why personally do you do that?
Well, if you've grown up in public service, and the military is public service.
And okay, so let's talk about your background then, because I think of, when I first started going to the Economic Development Authority meetings, I thought bankers, lawyers, and executive types. Your background is primarily the military, although you've done things since.
Right, and
how long were you in?
34 years in the Army, but all
retired
of that,
as a general.
Yes, that's right.
So a good deal of leadership, but in the public sector.
Yeah, here's the way I look at public service. Public service is a part of what we do. We have been given opportunities and given the opportunities that we've been given, provided the education that we've been provided, had the doors open, given considerable responsibility, and there's no time in your life you can take that and put it in a box somewhere and put it in a closet, because the obligation is to continue to use that for the benefit of whoever you can use it for as for the rest of your life. And so public service for me is very easy, and I think public service for the persons that serve on our commission is very easy as well, because they understand that they have an obligation that's larger than themselves. If you've been given an opportunity, then that opportunity doesn't stop within any sort of a way that's just directed toward you, but you're given that opportunity to use to the benefit of others. And so using it for the benefit of the city and the citizens of Hampton, if we can do that, and anything we can do to enhance this city and make it a better city than it is, and a place where people want to live, work, and play, then that's what we should all do. And all of us not given that opportunity. So for the ones of us that are given that opportunity, we need to be serious about it and then volunteer. And so we need volunteers in this city as well, folks that have been given opportunity, then use it. And it's nothing wrong with going to bed tired at night because you worked in the city, or you worked in public service, or you tried to help someone.
That is a wonderful attitude. I wish more people had that attitude. And I don't know if you came into the military with that, or if the military helped put it there. But I mean, I do know that people who are in the service or have been in the service tend to volunteer more, tend to be such integral parts of our community, because they do understand that giving back.
Well, maybe one of the things that's not understood very clearly is that, yes, we are provided in our armed forces, we are provided some opportunities. We are provided dollars for certain things. But then it's up to us to build the community. So you have to build the community. You move every 2-3 years, and so you are the part of a moving community. And so when you're in a military community, you have to do all the same things that you do otherwise. There's schools, there's churches, there's volunteer organizations and what have you that's not provided to with taxpayer dollars.
Right.
But
right.
but provided by numerous hours that are given by service members, by their families, to make a community a community. So we have to build community and maintain community wherever we live and play.
Well, and I think, too, part of the Hampton community, a huge part of the Hampton community, is military and retirees and contractors.
Right.
And so when those businesses or those people who've gotten out of the military and are now entrepreneurs and coming, you provide a certain amount of insight into their thinking and their success that maybe your bankers and lawyers don't bring to the table.
We'd hope so.
Well, thank you so much for your service, and thank you for talking with us today and helping to demystify this board for our audience.
Well, thank you very much. And the Economic Development Authority of the City of Hampton is open for business, and we want to see young prospective entrepreneurs or businesses that want to expand or have new ideas, bring them to us and let us deal with them. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching. I can't restate it. He did such a great job. Thanks.